The year was 2291. Caldera 4 spun under two angry suns. Thick green jungles covered the land like a wet blanket. Tall trees dripped acid sap that burned skin on contact. Volcanoes rumbled in the distance. Hot steam rose from cracks in the ground. Rain fell hard and often. It tasted like metal and left red stains on everything. Humans had lived here for 3 generations. They built towns from strong local stone and salvaged ship parts. They learned to move careful, to watch the sky, to never trust the quiet. Haven Ridge sat on a high plateau. 3,000 people called it home. Miners dug deep for rare black ore that powered jump drives. Farmers grew tough crops in shielded fields. Children played in low caves to stay safe from sudden storms. Life was hard, but it was theirs. Mayor Olivia Grant ran the town. She was 45 years old, short brown hair, green eyes that missed nothing. She wore practical clothes and carried a small pistol on her hip. Everyone knew her name. She spoke plain. She listened. When trouble came, she faced it first. That morning, the sky tore open. Silver ships appeared without warning. 37 long needles hung above the clouds. No signals, no friendly lights. They belonged to the Zathari coalition. Tall beings with pale blue skin and large black eyes. They moved like shadows. Their ships looked clean and perfect. They came for the ore. They did not plan to share. Drop pods fell fast. They hit the jungle clearings with soft thuds. Hatches opened. Zathari soldiers stepped out. Thin armor. Energy rifles that hummed low. They formed lines and marched toward Haven Ridge. A message played on every speaker and screen in town. This planet is now coalition territory. Lay down your arms. Prepare for processing and relocation. Resistance ends in death. Olivia stood in the town hall. Screens showed the silver ships. People crowded around her, hands tight. She spoke calm. Get the children to the deep bunkers. Arm the volunteers. We do not run. Captain Nathan Brooks moved first. He was tall and quiet. A scar ran across his jaw from a cave collapse long ago. He grabbed his radio. Orders went out fast. Alarms rang. Families ran. Parents carried small bags. Older kids helped younger ones. Miners pulled rifles from locked racks. Outside the town walls, the Zathari advanced. They cut vines with bright plasma blades. They expected easy work. Scans showed no big guns, no army, just miners with old weapons. Then the first shot came. From high in the trees, a sniper fired. The bullet punched through a Zathari helmet. The soldier dropped. More shots followed. From rocks, from hidden pits, from branches thick with leaves. The Zathari answered. Purple bolts lit the jungle. Trees split. Leaves burned. Soldiers pushed forward. But every step hurt. The ground gave way under some. Sharp stakes rose from hidden holes. Acid pods burst and sprayed burning mist. Screams filled the air. Olivia watched from a command post in the hills. Small screens showed the fight. Her people used the land. They knew where the ground was soft, where the vines hid traps, where the rain made mudslides. The Zathari commander stood on his command ship bridge. He watched his troops struggle. Losses climbed fast. He opened a channel to his fleet. Heavy local resistance. Natives fight like the planet itself helps them. Request immediate ground support. Send the second wave. The fleet answered. More pods fell. On the ground, Nathan led a counter-push. He moved through smoke with 10 volunteers. They used short bursts, hit and run. A Zathari squad charged. Nathan threw a homemade grenade. It burst in white fire. The aliens scattered. Olivia joined the line. She fired steady. A purple bolt grazed her arm. Kept shooting. The town edges held. Barely. Then the Zathari airstrikes began. Fighters dove low. Bombs fell. Explosions rocked the plateau. Houses cracked. Fires started. Smoke rose black. Olivia pulled back with her team. They retreated street by street. Barricades burned. People fought from windows, from doorways, from rooftops. Nathan grabbed her arm. We can't hold the center much longer. Olivia looked at the burning town. Fall back to the bunkers. We make them pay for every meter. The Zathari pushed in. They reached the main square. Energy lances cut through walls. Soldiers cheered in their clicking language. Their commander sent a new message. Final warning. Surrender now, or face total destruction. Then he opened a wide channel. His voice carried far. All coalition forces. This world resists beyond projections. Request full reinforcement. We need aid. The words traveled through space. Far out in the dark, a different fleet heard them. The Deathworld Legion. They came from planets like Caldera 4, worlds that killed the weak, that froze blood, that crushed bones with gravity. Legion members wore scars like medals. They trained in poison swamps, in ice storms, in deserts that boiled skin. Their ships looked rough, patched hulls, extra armor, mean engines. Admiral Lucas Hayes commanded them. 52 years old, gray hair cut short, eyes hard and cold. He had grown up on a world where night lasted months, and predators hunted by sound. He knew Deathworlds. He knew their people. His comm officer played the Zathari call. Lucas listened. A slow smile spread on his face. They shouted for aid, he said. He turned to his bridge. Plot course for Caldera 4. Maximum speed. Weapons hot. All ships. The Legion fleet jumped. Back on Caldera, the Zathari held the town center. Fires burned low. Bodies lay still. Olivia and Nathan pulled back to the last line, a high ridge above the bunkers. The Zathari commander stood in the square. He looked at the smoke, at the silent streets. Pathetic, he said. One more push, then we end it. Above, the sky stayed empty. For now. But far away, engines roared. Deathworlders were coming. The jungle around Haven Ridge smelled of smoke and burning sap. Fires still flickered in the broken houses. Zathari soldiers moved through the streets. Their silver armor shone under the twin suns. They stepped over bodies. They dragged wounded miners to collection points. Their commander walked tall in the town square. He looked at the smoke rising from the command post. He felt victory close. Olivia Grant and Nathan Brooks hid on the ridge above. They watched through binoculars. Their faces were black with soot. Olivia's arm bled slow. Nathan held a rifle with steady hands. They think it's over, Olivia whispered. Nathan nodded. Let them think that. Below, the Zathari set up a forward base. They planted tall poles with purple lights. They unloaded crates of supplies. Their dropships landed more troops. The commander spoke into his comm. Resistance broken. Town secured. Casualties higher than planned. Request full battalion drop. We finish this. The reply came quick. Reinforcements en route. Hold position. The commander smiled thin. He turned to his officers. Prepare for final sweep. No survivors in the bunkers. On the ridge, Olivia lowered the binoculars. They want to end it. Nathan checked his ammo. We have one more play. The old lava tubes. If we lead them in, the heat and gas will do the rest. Olivia looked at him. Risky, but we have no choice. They moved down the slope careful. They met the last of their fighters. 20 people, tired, hurt, but eyes hard. They carried what weapons remained. Grenades, knives, one heavy mining laser. Olivia spoke quiet. We draw them into the tubes, make them chase, then we collapse the entrance. Let Caldera finish them. The group nodded. No questions. They knew the planet. They trusted it. They moved fast. They fired shots at the Zathari patrols. Short bursts, then ran. The aliens followed, angry, sure. The chase led into narrow canyons. Vines hung low. Steam rose from cracks. The Zathari pushed hard. They wanted revenge. Olivia's people reached the lava tube entrance. A wide black mouth in the rock. Hot air blew out. Sulfur burned the nose. They turned, made a stand. Zathari soldiers poured in. Energy rifles flashed. Olivia's team fired back. 2 fell, then 3. But they held the line long enough. Nathan triggered the charges. Rocks fell. The entrance collapsed. Dust rose thick. The Zathari inside screamed. Some tried to dig out. Most ran deeper, into the dark heat. Outside, the commander watched the collapse. His face twisted. "Idiots," he said. "Send drones. Clear the rubble." But before the drones lifted, the sky changed. Far above the clouds, jump points opened. Not one, many. Rough ships came through. Black hulls scarred with red stripes. Engines glowed angry orange. Names painted bold on the sides. Hellforge, Ashborn, Caldera's Wrath. The Deathworld Legion had arrived. Admiral Lucas Hayes stood on the bridge of his flagship. The ship shook as it dropped out of jump. He looked at the tactical screen. Zathari vessels hung in orbit. Small, neat, clean. His voice stayed calm. Target their command ship. Railguns first, then missiles. No mercy. The fleet obeyed. Beams of white fire lanced across space. The Zathari command ship sparked. Armor peeled away. Secondary explosions bloomed. Alarms screamed on their bridges. The Zathari commander stared at his screens. "Human fleet! Unknown markings! They are attacking!" A voice cut through their channels. Deep, rough, human. "This is Admiral Lucas Hayes of the Deathworld Legion. You invaded a Deathworld. You called for aid. Here we are." Lucas smiled cold. "All ships, engage at will." The Legion struck fast. Destroyers dove low. They hit the Zathari dropships, still in atmosphere. Explosions lit the jungle. Fighters screamed down. They strafed the ground troops. Purple shields cracked. Soldiers scattered. On the ground, Olivia and Nathan heard the booms from space. They looked up through the smoke. Nathan laughed once. Short, tired. The Legion. Olivia wiped blood from her face. About time. The Zathari tried to regroup. Their ships in orbit fired back. Energy beams hit Legion hulls. Some sparked, but the Legion ships were built tough. Patched from 100 battles, they kept coming. One Legion cruiser rammed a Zathari frigate. Metal screamed. The alien ship broke apart. Debris rained down like burning stars. The Zathari commander shouted orders. "All ships retreat. Jump out." But the Legion blocked the escape vectors. Missiles filled the space between. More coalition ships died. On the surface, the remaining Zathari ran for their pods. Legion fighters chased them. Bombs fell precise. Pods exploded before they lifted. Olivia's survivors came out from cover. They watched the sky light up with fire. They cheered, quiet. Hoarse voices, tired lungs. Nathan looked at Olivia. "We held." She nodded. "We did. Now they finish it." High above, Lucas watched the battle end. Zathari ships jumped away, the few that could. The rest burned. He opened a channel to the surface. "This is Admiral Hayes. Legion has secured orbit. Ground teams inbound. Hold position." Olivia answered, her voice strong despite the pain. "Mayor Grant here. Thank you. We held the ridge." Lucas paused. "You did more than hold. You gave us the opening. Deathworlders stick together." The channel closed. Legion shuttles came down. Big, armored. Troops stepped out. They wore heavy suits, helmets with red visors. They moved sure. They helped the wounded, secured the town, cleared the remaining Zathari. Olivia met the first Legion officer, a woman named Captain Sophia Lane. Tall, scar across her cheek. She saluted sharp. "Mayor, we're here to stay until it's safe." Olivia shook her hand. "Welcome to Caldera 4. Sophia looked around. At the jungle, the volcanoes, the smoke. "Feels like home," she said. The twin suns set slow. Fires died down. Stars appeared bright. Olivia stood on the ridge with Nathan. They watched Legion troops work. They watched the sky, where the fleet stayed watchful. "They came because we called," Nathan said. Olivia smiled small. "No, they came because the invaders called." And the Deathworld Legion struck back. Hard, fast, without mercy. The jungle stayed quiet now, but Caldera 4 remembered. Night fell heavy on Caldera 4. The twin suns dropped behind smoking mountains. Orange light faded to deep red. Stars appeared sharp through thin smoke. Fires still burned in Haven Ridge. Small flames licked broken walls. The air tasted like ash and hot metal. Legion troops moved through the streets. Their heavy boots crunched on glass and stone. Red visors glowed in the dark. They checked every corner, every shadow. Olivia Grant stood on the ridge above town. Her arm was wrapped tight now. Nathan Brooks stayed close. He scanned the jungle with night vision goggles. Below, Legion medics treated the wounded. Stretchers carried people to shuttles. Quiet voices mixed with the crackle of dying fires. A Legion officer approached. Captain Sophia Lane. She removed her helmet, short black hair, scar across her left cheek. She saluted short. "Mayor Grant," she said. "Admiral Hayes wants a meeting. In person, on the flagship." Olivia looked at the sky. The biggest Legion ship hung low. Its scarred hull blocked half the stars. Lights moved along its sides. "How do we get up?" Olivia asked. Sophia pointed to a waiting shuttle. "That one. It's armored. Fast." Olivia nodded. "Nathan comes with me." Sophia agreed. "Of course." They walked to the shuttle. Inside it smelled like oil and recycled air. Seats were hard metal. Straps clicked tight. The ramp closed. Engines hummed deep. The shuttle lifted smooth. It climbed fast through smoke and clouds. On the flagship bridge, Admiral Lucas Hayes waited. He stood tall, gray hair short, face lined from years on hard worlds. His uniform was plain black. No gold, no shine, just practical. He watched the planet turn slow below. The shuttle docked. Olivia and Nathan stepped out. Guards nodded. Sophia led them forward. Lucas turned. His eyes met Olivia's. "Mayor," he said, "you held longer than most would." Olivia looked back steady. "We had no choice. This is our home." Lucas gave a small nod. "I know. I grew up on a place like this. Worse, maybe. The Legion comes from Deathworlds. We understand." He pointed to a large screen. It showed the battle in replay. Zathari ships breaking, pods exploding, Legion fire tearing through. "Your people gave us the time we needed," Lucas said. "Without your fight, the Zathari would have dug in, called more ships. This would be a longer war." Nathan spoke. "What now?" Lucas looked at the screen. "We secured orbit. Most of their fleet ran. The ones left are scrap. Ground forces are mopped up. But the coalition does not forget. They will send more, bigger fleets. We stay until Caldera is ready." Olivia asked, "Ready how?" Lucas turned to her. "We train your people. We build defenses, orbital platforms, ground batteries. Your miners know the rock. Your hunters know the jungle. They teach us the planet." Nathan crossed his arms. "And the Legion?" "We rotate ships," Lucas said, "but a permanent detachment stays. Caldera becomes a Legion outpost. Deathworld to Deathworld, we protect our own." Olivia thought quiet. Then she nodded. The people will want to hear it from me, but I think they will agree. Lucas smiled thin. Good. Tomorrow we start. First teams go down at dawn. We clear the last pockets. Then we rebuild. The meeting ended. They returned to the surface. The shuttle landed soft near the ridge. Olivia stepped out. Cool night air hit her face. She looked at the town below. Lights flickered back on in some houses. People came out slow. They talked to Legion troops, shared water, shared stories. Nathan stood beside her. They came because the invaders asked for help. Olivia looked up at the flagship, and the Legion answered. Morning came hot. Suns rose bright. Steam rose from wet ground. Legion dropships landed in the square. Troops unloaded crates, weapons, tools, medical kits. They set up tents, field kitchens, training areas. Captain Sophia led a group to the old command post. Miners and farmers joined them, young and old. They listened close. Sophia spoke clear. We teach you how to fight in space, how to spot cloaked ships, how to use railguns. You teach us your traps, your poisons, your ways to survive here. A young miner named Caleb raised his hand. Will we leave Caldera? Sophia shook her head. No, this is your world. We make it stronger, so no one takes it again. Caleb nodded. Others did too. Work started fast. Engineers built sensor towers on high points. They linked them to Legion satellites. Miners dug new tunnels, wider, deeper, for hidden bunkers. Farmers cleared fields for landing pads. Olivia walked the streets. She talked to everyone. She listened to fears, to hopes. She saw smiles return slow. Nathan trained with Sophia. They ran drills in the jungle. Legion soldiers learned to move quiet through vines. Colony fighters learned to shoot moving targets from cover. One afternoon, a small Zethari scout ship tried to return. It dropped from jump near the outer moon. Legion sensors caught it fast. Fighters launched. Missiles flew. The scout ship burned bright, then went dark. Lucas watched from the bridge. He spoke quiet. They test us. His tactical officer answered. They won't like the answer. Days turned to weeks. The town rebuilt. New walls rose, stronger, higher. Houses got metal roofs that turned away energy bolts. Schools opened again. Children learned math and history, and how to spot a cloaked drone. Olivia stood on the ridge one evening. Nathan joined her. They watched the sun set. The Legion stays, Nathan said. Olivia nodded. Because this world fights back. Above, the flagship turned slow. Lights glowed steady. The invaders had shouted for aid. The Deathworld Legion answered. And Caldera 4 stood taller, ready for whatever came next. Weeks turned into months on Caldera 4. The jungle healed slow. Burned patches turned green again. New vines climbed over old scars. Smoke from volcanoes drifted high. The twin suns rose and set as always. But the town of Haven Ridge looked different now. Stronger walls stood tall. Metal plates covered weak spots. Towers rose on high ground, with sensors that watched the sky day and night. Legion engineers worked beside colony miners. They built together. They laughed together. They sweated together. Olivia Grant walked the new main street every morning. She checked on families. She listened to complaints. She thanked people who worked late. Her arm healed clean. A thin scar remained. She wore it like a badge. Nathan Brooks walked with her most days. His scar looked older now. His eyes stayed sharp. One clear day, a Legion transport landed in the central square. Admiral Lucas Hayes stepped out. Black uniform, no shine. He carried no guards. People stopped to watch. Some nodded. Some saluted loose. Lucas walked straight to Olivia. Mayor, he said, we need to talk. High Command sent new orders. They went to the rebuilt town hall. Inside smelled like fresh wood and hot metal. Screens glowed on the walls. Nathan joined them. Captain Sophia Lane followed. Lucas set the tablet down. A map appeared. It showed the rim sectors. Red lines marked coalition movements. Small fleets, scout ships, supply lines. They regroup, Lucas said. The Zethari lost face here. They want revenge. Intelligence says a larger fleet gathers 3 jumps away. They plan to hit Caldera again. Harder, faster. Olivia looked at the map. How long? 3 months. Maybe less, Lucas answered. They bring carriers this time. Heavy troops. Orbital bombers. Nathan leaned forward. What do we do? Lucas met his eyes. We prepare. Caldera becomes a fortress. We install railgun batteries on the moons. Orbital mines around the jump points. Ground defenses in the jungle. Your people run the surface. Legion handles space. Olivia asked, and the training? Intensifies, Lucas said. Your volunteers join Legion squads. Full integration. They learn ship combat. We learn your traps. In 2 weeks, we run joint exercises. Full scale. Sophia spoke up. We already started small teams. Colony fighters show us how to move quiet in acid rain. Legion teaches them zero-gravity boarding. Olivia nodded slow. The people will do it. They know what's coming. Lucas looked out the window, at the jungle, at the volcanoes. This world tried to kill you every day. You stayed. Now it will help kill anyone who comes again. That afternoon, drills began. Legion dropships carried groups into deep jungle. They practiced ambushes. They learned to use local plants for poison darts. They set fake traps with real stakes. Colony fighters showed Legion troops how to spot weak ground, how to avoid steam vents that could boil a man alive. Nathan led one squad, a mix of miners and Legion Marines. They moved through thick vines. Sweat ran down faces. Acid mist burned eyes. A young Legion soldier slipped. Nathan caught him before he fell into a hot spring. Watch the color of the steam, Nathan said. Blue means safe. Yellow means burn. The soldier nodded. Thanks. Never saw that in Sims. Nathan smiled small. Sims don't bite back. In orbit, Lucas oversaw the build. Shuttles carried parts for gun platforms. Miners in suits welded beams on the small moons. Sensors went online. Mines floated silent in space, ready to wake if anything came through wrong. One night, Olivia sat on her porch. Stars shone bright. The flagship glowed above like a second moon. Nathan sat beside her with 2 cups of strong tea. They fit in, Olivia said. Nathan sipped. Like they belong. Olivia looked at him. Because they do. Same kind of world, same kind of fight. A Legion patrol walked past. They nodded. One raised a hand. Olivia raised hers back. Weeks later, the joint exercise happened. Full alert. Simulated invasion. Legion ships played the enemy. Colony defenses activated. Railguns on the surface fired dummy rounds. Mines blinked active. Fighters scrambled from hidden pads in the jungle. The exercise lasted 2 days. Legion invaders pushed hard. Colony teams held, used the land, used tricks. At the end, Lucas called it a draw, but his face showed pride. Your people fight dirty, he told Olivia later. Good dirty, the kind that wins. Olivia smiled. Caldera taught us. More months passed. The fortress grew. New bunkers went deep. Stockpiles filled. Children learned basic drills. Adults carried sidearms daily. They knew why. One evening a scout ship returned from deep patrol. It brought news. The coalition fleet moved, not toward Caldera, toward a weaker colony 2 systems away. Lucas called Olivia and Nathan to the flagship. They changed target, he said. They think Caldera too hard now. Olivia looked at the map. We let them go? Lucas shook his head. No, we follow. Hit them before they hit the next world. Legion fleet moves in 3 days. Nathan asked, and Caldera? Stays defended, Lucas answered. Half the detachment remains. The rest come with us. You trained your own now. They can hold. Olivia thought quiet. Then she said, Take who wants to go. Some will want to fight off-world. Lucas nodded. I expected that. 2 days later, volunteers gathered. Young miners, farmers' sons, a few older ones. They boarded Legion shuttles, faces serious, eyes bright. Olivia stood at the pad. Come back safe. One young man named Caleb said, We will, Mayor, and we'll bring stories. The shuttles lifted, joined the fleet, engines flared, jump points opened, the Legion left. But not all. Sophia stayed, with her team, and the guns, and the mines. Olivia watched the stars where the fleet had gone. They shouted for aid once, she said quiet. Nathan stood beside her. And the Deathworld Legion answered. Now Caldera waited, strong, ready. The jungle whispered, the volcanoes smoked, and the people stood tall, because they had learned. 3 years passed on Caldera 4. The jungle grew thicker over old battle scars. New green shoots pushed through black ash. Volcanoes still smoked, but people no longer feared them as much. They knew the land now. They knew its moods. Haven Ridge stood bigger. Stronger walls circled wider streets. Towers watched the sky with steady eyes. Children played near railgun mounts like they were playground slides. Life moved forward, but the memory of that first invasion stayed close. Olivia Grant still walked the streets every day. Her hair showed more gray. Her steps stayed sure. She greeted people by name. She stopped to listen. She smiled more often now. Nathan Brooks walked beside her most mornings. His scar had faded to a thin white line. He carried the same rifle, but it looked newer, upgraded. Legion tech mixed with colony grit. One quiet morning, a Legion shuttle landed in the central square. Admiral Lucas Hayes stepped out. He looked the same. Gray hair, short, eyes hard. But something softer lived in them now. He carried no tablet, no orders, just himself. Olivia met him halfway. Nathan followed. Admiral, she said. Good to see you. Lucas shook her hand. Mayor, Nathan, I came to say goodbye. Olivia raised an eyebrow. Goodbye? Lucas looked at the town, at the people working, at the children running. The rim is quiet. The coalition pulled back after we hit their staging world. They lost too many ships, too much pride. High Command says the sector is secure. The Legion detachment here is no longer needed full-time. Nathan crossed his arms. So you're leaving? Not all, Lucas said. A small squadron stays. Patrols, training support. But the main fleet moves on. Other Deathworlds need us. Other places under threat. Olivia looked up. The flagship still hung in orbit, smaller now in her memory. Familiar. You changed us, she said. We were miners and farmers. Legion fighters. Lucas gave a small smile. You were always fighters. Caldera made you that way. We just gave you better tools. They walked together through the square. People nodded. Some saluted. A young girl ran up. She held a small carved stone. A volcano with wings. She gave it to Lucas. For luck, she said. Lucas took it careful. Thank you. I'll keep it on the bridge. The girl ran back to their friends. They waved. Lucas looked at Olivia. Your people volunteered for the last campaign. 30 went, 28 came back. They brought honor, stories, scars. Olivia nodded. Caleb is one of them. He trains the new ones now. Lucas paused. Tell him the Legion remembers. They reached the edge of town. Jungle started thick. Steam rose from cracks. A Legion patrol moved past. They carried colony rifles now. Mixed gear, mixed faces. Sophia Lane joined them. She saluted Lucas. Fleet is ready for departure. Lucas nodded. One last thing. He turned to Olivia and Nathan. Caldera 4 is Legion territory now. Not owned, protected. If the Coalition ever tries again, call. We'll come. Fast. Olivia met his eyes. And if we need help somewhere else? Lucas smiled real. Same answer. He saluted short. Sophia too. They walked back to the shuttle. Engines hummed, the ramp closed, the shuttle lifted. It climbed through clouds, joined the waiting fleet. Above, jump points opened one by one. Ships slipped through. The flagship went last. Its engines flared bright. Then nothing. The sky looked empty for the first time in years. Olivia stood with Nathan. They watched until the last light faded. He said goodbye, Nathan said quiet. Olivia shook her head. Not goodbye. See you later. They turned back to town. Life continued. Miners dug deeper. Farmers planted wider fields. Children learned old lessons and new ones. Traps, guns, stars, survival. One evening Olivia sat on her porch. Nathan joined her. Tea steamed in cups. Jungle sounds filled the dark. Crickets, distant rumbles, wind in leaves. The Legion left, Nathan said. Olivia sipped. They left a piece here, in us. Above, a single Legion patrol ship circled slow, a promise kept. Not gone, just quieter. Olivia looked at the stars. They shouted for aid once. Nathan nodded. And the Deathworld Legion answered. She smiled small. Now we answer too. Caldera 4 turned on, strong, quiet, ready. The jungle whispered, the volcanoes smoked gentle, and the people lived, not just surviving, thriving. Because once invaders came, they shouted, and help arrived. Fierce, fast, unbreakable. The Deathworld Legion struck back, and Caldera never forgot.